Hi everyone, I'm Helen from QUURK, and we're building the world's first open world game that teaches players and students to learn how to code faster and better. So we're looking at a 1 million seed fund to launch our game called Fastopia to 3 million students and to hit our ARR goal of 12 million, by 2025. So QUURK is essentially a game-based learning company. Our team is a mix of Web3 experts and creators of a successful game-based learning product that has won some awards in the past. Now, the first game that we're building together is called Fastopia. It is an open world RPG action-adventure game, and it's targeted to students and players from 10 years old and above. Hence, you can see that we are preparing the next generation for the future workforce and molding the future builders for the blockchain ecosystem. Now, let me just share with you a preview of the game that we're building. So yeah, welcome to Fastopia. So what we did is that we're imbuing all the learning contents seamlessly in the game itself. In addition to it, we're utilizing the Gagnes conditional learning theory. So this is where it kind of promotes a player's computational and problem-solving skills, because these are essential for them to learn coding, right? So all of the weapons and some in-game assets are actually created by the players with coding. So what that means is that they can literally create anything in the game with our UGC, or rather user generation content environment. Now, they're going to begin their journey with a few challenges that they come across Fastopia. So one of them is that you can solve it through block codes. So this is where they execute commands by moving these blocks. But what it also does is that it also trains the brain with this logic to get used to block codes, because this is basically a stepping stone for them to learn languages like Raspberry Pi. Now in Fastopia, we also promote self-led learning. So what it does is that the progression is built around the player's ability to learn. Then later on, they can transition to peer-to-peer learning. But say, for example, if you're someone who already knows how to code, you can actually skip the block codes and upskill yourself with the other contents that we have with scripting. So in the game, we also imbued STEM learnings. So say, for example, in this scenario, where it teaches you the fundamentals of physics, so that you can successfully, say, build an anti-gravity gun successfully, right? So yeah, that was Fastopia. So let me share with you the reason why we're doing this. Aside from the big market opportunity of the game-based learning that is worth 53 billion, there is a global shortage of tech professionals in the space right now that is causing a loss of 8.5 trillion right now. But if we're able to address this, we're able to see an increase of 18 trillion in the global GDP gains as well. Now, let me share with you why we're going to be successful. First, there's no barriers to entry. What it means is that we're able to access all the markets without having to be compliant to any accreditation frameworks, since the main pedagogy that we're tackling is coding. Second is that we have no direct competition. So this may raise a few eyebrows for you all, but let me explain why. So the current game-based learning products out there teaches coding, yes, but it limits the player's capabilities to test and apply their skills in the game itself. So when we did our open world, like I shared, every weapon can be created by players, no matter what. Basically, their creativity is the only limit in the game. Now, the third one is that schools seek new content. We've spoken to dozens of schools and they've agreed to it. And of course, the fourth one is digital skills training is in demand right now. So here are the few tractions that we've gained so far. We have partnered up with Starlink, MDEC, which is the Malaysian, it is basically a Malaysian government body that's fronting the digital innovation in the country. We have partnered up with a few GDSE clubs and working closely with Tezos as well. Now, in terms of the content side of things, we're working closely with the creator of Smart Pi. So for those who don't know, SmartPy is a native language of the Tezos ecosystem. And aside from that, we're also working closely with Echo42. They're one of the best coding schools in the world based in France. Now, since we're based in KL, we're working closely with their KL team as well. So here are some of the schools that we have. Not all just few, because I have to fit out some names in the slides. But yeah. So I shared we're currently trying to raise 1 million. So this is where we wanted just to launch the product out there. So we're going to develop cap of 8 million. Now, in terms of the deal, we're going to get a safe deal with token warrant. Now, majority of the funds will be channeled to the customer acquisition.
So thank you so much. Right now, it's perfect time for our judges to ask any questions, if you have any.
Yeah, guys, you want to go first?
Ladies first.
Thanks. Helen, thanks a lot for your pitch. And I want to say that I really love your project. So from the first slide, it's the kind of projects that sell itself by the idea even. So, I mean, I know without extra slides about market conditions, etc., market opportunity, whatever, this is a huge pain. I mean, learning coding, especially for kids, for teenagers, etc. And the market is booming indeed. So, idea is amazing, but I have no clue why do you need token there. You did not prove it, neither in your deck nor in the pitch you are raising with via token warrant agreement. Yeah, your business model is stated without mentioning the utility of the token. You are targeting schools, which is very traditional, conservative market. Right. Even if they are adopting new technologies, they will stay away from tokens as long as possible. So could you please elaborate on this?
Sure, I'll be glad to. So the reason why we're targeting schools is because we have our previous product actually has served 4,000 schools across the US and Asia, which delivered us 2.3 students playing the game. Now that was a past game. Now historically, this was our traction. And so what we wanted to do is that we wanted to build attraction or secure attraction before we launched open market. So what it does is that these students, by the time they reach the age of 16, they can easily convert themselves to the open market, where they can later on contribute more to our games ecosystem as well. Because when it comes to school, right? So what happens is that there are some things that we have to lock up. It means that they're not able to trade, definitely, because we're dealing with minors as well. But like I said, by the time we reach the traction and we're able to secure a number of students, that kind of gives us the critical mass. And that's the time we're going to open the open market version so that students or users are age 16 and above can go in, bring the assets that they've built in, and later on be able to sell these things in marketplaces as well. So aside from this one is that they're also able to create additional contents that you can monetize. And of course, and also perform bounties. So this is where the token will also come in. Because say, for example, there are players who aren't able to complete a certain challenge or write a code. So they can issue a bounty where other players can come and help, and they can reward themselves with the token as well.
Well, it makes sense, but I still, Mitch, Paul, tell me if it's only me. I still have no clue. I'm still not convinced why it is tokenized. Why do we need token there?
So aside from this one, it also kind of relates to the IP side of it as well. So basically, like some of the assets that are created, we can also monetize them or basically tokenize them, right? So by the time they sell off to other players, the original creators can also earn from it as well. So this is something that can't be done in the traditional space right now.
Okay, let's answer this question from other way. Could your project be successful without token? And what are your main metrics as a business success you are focusing on?
Yes, currently right now, since we're not going to touch on the Web3 space much, being its product on its own, I would say that we're able to be successful. Because like I said, we already gained traction in the past with our past product where schools are already using and we already have connection with them. And the second is where we build in the warm leads. So this is where we either approach new schools or we approach resellers. So resellers would tend to have a database of schools where you can push our product to their own database as well for them to use Pastopia. So the metrics that we're looking at right now are basically how we could define a successful customer is that when students play into the game and they see the value of it, and later on be part of the critical mass for them to become part of the open market.
Okay, so it's still not obvious, and in my point of view, in your current model, you could be successful
Okay.
without
Yeah, our current model right now, we're actually using more of a B2B, so it's a subscription base, because we've used it before and we're also going to use it now as well.
Okay, I see more sustainable model for you with token, but probably we can discuss it later. Okay.
Yeah.
And
hi, Helen. Go ahead, Paul.
So yes, if I start regarding to the competition. So I have never go really deep into the Web3 educational projects, but I know minimum 2 of them who do the same. And one of them had the current the contract with Avalanche Town Foundation, and the other they do almost the same, like they call the Plernix, and have another one, but I couldn't find its name. And I have to make the research. So this is the concern for me when you tell that there are no competitors. So for sure that they are, and indirect.
Oh, there are a few indirect. Like say, for example, just to name a few, Minecraft Education, Tinker, and Code Monkey as well. But in the Web3 space, they're more of a gamification. So it's whereby when you play the game, you have to answer this question for you to kind of proceed or continue on in the path of the map, right? So that is more of a gamification approach. But like I said, like, yes, it kind of teaches the same contents that we do right now. But the only thing is that it limits their players' outcome in the game.
So those who I mentioned to you, they have the same model. The players should play and learn absolutely the same what you shown to me, but they the style of the game pretty different. Okay.
Yeah, Mitch, you had a question, right? We have time just for one more.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I have 2. Let it be 2, please. Hi, Helen. Nice to meet you.
Hi,
I've been in Malaysia just several months ago in
Oh,
KL and
cool.
Langkawi. Yeah. Can you please share your screen and share your slide with logos of your partners?
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this one. Maybe I missed. Can you please elaborate? What do you mean by industry partners, institutional partners, and other partners? For example, Starlink. You already talk with some. Are there your leads? You have some pilots, or what kind of discussions with them or negotiations? I mean, what kind of stage?
So Starlink is actually already our infrastructure partner. So what happens is that there are some students who doesn't have an internet connection, or rather infrastructure access. Hence, with them, they're able to provide internet access for them to access Pastopia. So this is where we're able to captivate more audience, right? Now, the second one that we have is MDUC. So they're more of an industry partner whereby they're going to help us do a national rollout of Pastopia in Malaysia. So this is where some local primary schools will be able to access Pastopia itself. Now for GDSC, they are the Google's Development Club.
Helen, may I stop you? Is it possible you can share your screen? I mean, not share screen, but share maybe something that you can show you have some negotiation with Starlink. and they express their interest?
Oh, okay. Actually, the APAC guy is our advisor, actually, James Beltran. Now, in terms of a negotiation, yes, you can see some of our documents in our data room.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, can you go to the next page with fundraising? You raised already more than 3,000. Not this one, previous one.
Oh, okay.
You mentioned you raised more than 300,000. Page number 11 should be.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So that was actually the full version slide. So I kind of updated this slide just to fit the 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So yes,
you deleted
in the
this
past,
page, right?
yeah. So we accepted QUURK last year around March, and with that we have raised $375,000 from a private investor.
Okay, it's not self-funded.
No, we raised it from a private investor.
I'm just curious. What happened with your previous game? You mentioned, am I right? You mentioned that you already have some, let's say, database of your previous clients, like students, right? As they can go to the new game.
Yeah. So that one is not under by QUURK. It is one of the co-founders. So we have 2 co-founders right now. One is Marv, one is August. So that product attraction was actually from August itself, like his experience in the game-based learning. He's actually an ASEAN scholar, which kind of makes him a rare Pokemon in the academia space.
Okay, I see. I just want to know, do you have any traction there or revenue?
From the past product?
Correct.
Yes. But for Pastopia, which is a new one, it is pre-revenue.
I'm just curious whether you can, what will happen if you will not raise $1 million US right now?
Oh, it's okay. Because what's going to happen is, I'm not going to say it's okay. But actually, we do have a plan to do a POC phase. So this is where we continue getting schools to test our product. Then we also have the pre-sales period, where we sell this via resellers. And of course, resellers from the previous game that we have built. And then from there, yeah.
Great.